Salut Estelle!
Salut Paul!
Are you ready to take a trip?
Oui, always. Where to?
À Paris!
Ah, très bien.
Today we're talking about common phrases you'll need to know while on a trip. So let's say you just landed at l'aéroport Charles de Gaulle.
Ah, yes, the main airport in Paris.
What's the first thing we'll need to say when we arrive?
Où sont les toilettes?
Well, yes, but after that?
You'll probably need to get a taxi to your hotel, right? So you'll need to tell the driver where you're going.
Yes, so let's say you're staying at a place called the Mercury Hotel. Remember, we use je vais to say I'm going. So you could say je vais à l'hôtel Mercure. I'm going to the Mercury Hotel.
Je vais à l'hôtel Mercure. Let's practice. Repeat after me. Je vais à l'hôtel Mercure. Je vais à l'hôtel Mercure. Taxi!
Bonjour madame.
Bonjour, je vais à l'hôtel Mercure, s'il vous plaît.
Très bien. Vous avez l'adresse?
Did you hear the taxi driver's question? In a big city like Paris, it's probably not enough to just give the taxi driver the name of your hotel. So you might be asked, Vous avez l'adresse?
Right. Vous avez l'adresse? We already know vous is a formal way to say you.
Then avez means have.
Because vous ends in S, we have a liaison between vous and avez.
Yes, and just like we connected le and appartement to make l'appartement, we connect la and adresse for l'adresse.
L'adresse. French really doesn't like two vowel sounds in a row.
Nope, not at all. So, altogether, vous avez l'adresse means, do you have the address?
Vous avez l'adresse? And how could we answer this question?
Well, let's say our hotel is on Monet Street. We could say, l'hôtel est rue Monet.
Right. L'hôtel est means the hotel is, and then rue means street.
Rue has the same U sound that you hear in une. Rue. L'hôtel est rue Monet.
L'hôtel est rue Monet. Also, as you might have noticed, in French, rue often comes before the actual street name, like in Rue Monet.
Are you ready to try? Repeat after me. Rue. Rue Monet. L'hôtel est rue Monet.
Once you get to the hotel, the receptionist might ask you for your passeport.
Passeport is the French word for passport. The pronunciation is almost the same as in English, but you don't pronounce the T sound at the end. Passeport.
Passeport.
Monsieur,
Oui.
vous avez votre passeport?
Notice how the receptionist used vous avez, which we just learned means you have or do you have?
And she also uses votre, which is the polite way of saying your. Votre.
Right, votre. So, votre passeport means your passport.
Votre passeport.
And putting it all together, we get vous avez votre passeport? Do you have your passport?
When you show your passeport, you may want to say something like, here it is in French. That's voici.
Voici.
In voici, we have the same oa sound as in toilette or voyage. Voici.
Voici.
Now it's your turn to practice. Repeat after me. Vois. Voici.
Bonjour madame.
Oui,
Vous avez votre passeport?
oui, voici.
Très bien, merci.
Wonderful. So now we know how to give an address to a taxi driver.
And also some tips for checking into a hotel.
Next time, we'll talk about checking in at the airport. In our last lesson, we talked about conversations you might have while traveling.
Like when you're checking into your hotel, the receptionist might ask you for your passport.
Bonjour, madame. Vous avez votre passeport, s'il vous plaît?
Oui, voici.
Merci.
You might also be asked to show your passeport during check-in when you're à l'aéroport.
Right, and there are a lot of other important questions you'll need to understand at the check-in counter. For example, you might be asked if you have any luggage.
And if you're like Paul, you take everything but the kitchen sink when you travel.
But whatever, Estelle. If you want to say that you do have luggage, you need to use j'ai.
J'ai. J'ai means I have. Just like in l'appartement and l'adresse, we're connecting two words to make j'ai. Je and et. J'ai.
Pay attention to the difference between je, which means I, and j'ai, which means I have. Je, j'ai.
Je, j'ai. Now you try it. Repeat after me. Je. J'ai.
And to say I have luggage, it's j'ai un bagage.
J'ai un bagage. Bagage means luggage.
In English, we'd have to say something like a piece of luggage. But in French, we just have to use un, which we learned is one or a. J'ai un bagage.
J'ai un bagage.
Monsieur Marquet, vous avez un bagage?
Oui, j'ai un bagage.
Ready to try? Repeat after me. J'ai. Un bagage. J'ai un bagage.
Okay, we know that we can say j'ai un bagage if we have one piece of luggage.
But what if you have more than one piece of luggage?
Or 18 pieces of luggage, like Paul.
Well, in that case, you'd say des bagages.
Des bagages. Des is like saying some.
Des.
So, j'ai des bagages means I have some luggage.
J'ai des bagages. In English, you just say I have luggage, and it can mean that you have a single piece of luggage or 18 pieces. But in French, the word des is very important. It tells that we have more than one piece. Your turn to practice. Repeat after me. Des bagages. J'ai des bagages.
Vous avez votre passeport?
Voici.
Et vous avez des bagages?
Oui, j'ai des bagages.
Voici votre passeport, monsieur.
Merci, au revoir.
So today we learned how to answer a question like, Vous avez des bagages?
We also learned to use I have or j'ai to say j'ai un bagage.
Or if we have more than one piece of luggage, j'ai des bagages.
In our next lesson, we'll talk about more phrases you might hear at the airport.
In the last couple of lessons, we talked about some conversations you might have à l'hôtel or à l'aéroport.
An airline employee might ask if you have luggage. Vous avez un bagage?
And you can answer that question with j'ai un bagage.
Or j'ai des bagages.
Votre passeport, s'il vous plaît. Merci. Vous avez des bagages?
Oui, j'ai un bagage.
while you're checking in, you'll probably also need to tell the airline employee where you're going.
Let's say you're flying back home to New York from Paris.
You know how to say I am going, je vais. So to say I'm going to New York, you'd say je vais à New York.
Instead of saying something like je vais à New York, you could also say j'ai un vol pour New York.
J'ai un vol pour New York.
Okay, let's break that down. We know j'ai means I have,
But you may not know that un vol means a flight. Un vol.
un vol.
Notice that vol has the same v sound that you hear in votre. Vol. Votre.
So putting j'ai and un vol together, we get j'ai un vol. I have a flight. It's your turn to practice. Repeat after me. Un vol. Un vol.
Okay, we'll turn off grading for now, but you can still follow along.
J'ai un vol.
So, j'ai un vol means I have a flight. What do you think pour New York means?
Pour New York means to New York.
Exactly. Pour New York.
J'ai un vol pour New York. I have a flight to New York.
Pour sounds pretty similar to jour in bonjour.
Pour. Jour.
Bonjour, j'ai un vol pour New York.
Oui, votre passeport, s'il vous plaît.
Ready to try? Repeat after me. Pour. Pour New York. J'ai un vol pour New York. Usually, airline employees are super polite and professional, so you'll probably hear merci when you give them your passeport.
You can return that politeness by saying de rien or you're welcome. De rien.
Bonjour, j'ai un vol pour New York.
Vous avez des bagages?
Oui, j'ai un bagage.
Votre passeport, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
De rien.
De rien literally means of nothing, but it's basically the same as saying it was nothing or don't mention it.
Notice how rien has the French R sound, which comes from the back of the throat, and ien, the nasal sound you hear in bien. Rien.
Rien. De rien. Okay, your turn. Repeat after me. Rien. De rien. Let's hear everything we've learned in the past couple lessons in one conversation.
Bonjour, j'ai un vol pour New York.
Oui, votre passeport, s'il vous plaît.
Voici.
Merci. Vous avez des bagages?
Non.
Très bien. Voici votre passeport.
Merci, au revoir.
De rien. Bon voyage.
Ooh, we've learned a lot.
Now you can answer many different questions you might be asked at the airport.
Time for a vacation?
Absolutely.
See you next time. À bientôt.
Au revoir.
So far, we've been talking about some things you might need to say at the airport.
Just as a reminder, let's hear a conversation between a traveler and an airline employee.
Bonjour, j'ai un vol pour New York.
Oui, votre passeport, s'il vous plaît.
Voici.
Merci. Vous avez des bagages?
Oui, j'ai un bagage.
Très bien. Voici votre passeport.
Merci. Au revoir.
De rien. Bon voyage.
Now it's time for you to do some speaking.
Let's pretend that you've just arrived at the airport. You're really excited because you're about to go on a vacation to the beautiful city of Nice, right on the French Riviera.
But before you get out that sunblock, you'll need to swing by the check-in counter.
You walk up to the counter and an airline employee greets you.
Bonjour.
To start the check-in process, tell her where you're going. Say, "Hello, I have a flight to Nice," in French. Parfait. Bonjour, j'ai un vol pour Nice.
Great, now she knows where you're going. But we're not quite done yet. The airline employee still needs a bit more information before she can give you your ticket. Next, she says,
Très bien. Votre passeport, s'il vous plaît.
as you hand your passport to her, say, "Yes, here it is," in French. Bon travail. Oui, voici. Now that the airline employee has your passport, what do you think she'll ask next?
Well, she'll probably want to know if you're bringing anything with you on the flight.
Vous avez des bagages?
When the airline employee thanks you, say, "You're welcome."
Merci.
Excellent. De rien.
But let's say you're actually taking a long vacation and planning to bring back plenty of souvenirs. So you need to bring more than one piece of luggage.
Today, you only have one piece of luggage. So after the bell, tell the airline employee, "I have one piece of luggage," in French. Bon travail. J'ai un bagage.
This time, tell the airline employee, "Yes, I have some luggage," in French. Fantastique. J'ai des bagages.
The airline employee gives you back your passport and you're almost set to go.
Parfait. Voici votre passeport.
But remember to say thank you, goodbye. Excellent. Merci. Au revoir.
De rien. Bon voyage.
Awesome. Now it's time to catch your flight and start your vacation. Bonnes vacances!